The first time she said, "Homeboy," I laughed. I brushed it off, told myself it was a compliment. I'd helped pay off her student loans. $50,000. From her international business degree in Paris, where, spoiler alert, she'd met her oh-so-charming ex. Meanwhile, she was building something else entirely. The final punch? A video someone sent me, her ex in the background of a rooftop party, laughing with her and her new crowd. And her voice, crystal clear on camera, saying, "Marcus? Oh, he's just a homeboy. Real sweet. But, comfortable." That word echoed through my skull like a gunshot. Comfortable. Like a pair of old shoes. Like a placeholder. That night, I sat in the apartment she picked, 18 floors up, all glass and angles, and stared out over the city I broke my back to survive. I thought about the rent, which I paid, every single month. I thought about the debt, which I erased. I thought about love, the version I gave her, and how she sold it off for champagne smiles and handshakes from her past. And I decided it was time to return the favor. People like Isabel, they don't break up with you. They don't sit you down and say, "This isn't working." No, they keep you on the hook. Keep the homeboy around just long enough to keep the lights on, literally and figuratively, while they rewrite history over cocktails in the 7th arrondissement. But me? I don't do begging. I don't do loud scenes or smash dishes. I do strategy. The night after I saw that rooftop video, I didn't confront her. Didn't text her. Didn't even flinch when she came home late smelling like too much perfume and other people's cologne. I smiled, kissed her on the forehead, asked, "How was brunch?" Because when you've been played like that, the trick isn't getting even. It's disappearing in their blind spot and flipping the whole damn script. That $50,000 in student loans I paid off? I still had the login to the loan servicer. She never changed the password. Guess just a homeboy was trustworthy enough to manage her financial life, even if he wasn't good enough for her public one. I couldn't reinstate the debt, of course. That was done. But I could change the email notifications. And I could make sure the refund checks, because yes, it turns out she had overpaid tuition through a French government grant, wouldn't go to her new bank account. They'd come to mine. That refund? $8,430.22. I made a donation to an education fund in her name. Petty? Maybe. But poetic? You bet. Then came the rent. See, Isabel had no idea that the lease for her apartment wasn't in her name. It was in mine. That building, glass and steel, skyline view, concierge desk, was under my LLC. A little side hustle I started a few years ago when I got serious about property. She thought she was paying me rent. What she didn't realize was, I'd been covering the difference between her contribution and the actual cost. She thought $1,300 got her that place. In reality, it was $2,400 a month. But I made it easy for her. I always did. That was my mistake. So, I logged into the portal, selected Terminate Lease Effective immediately, and sent the notification to her email with a polite note. "We appreciate your tenancy. Due to a lease violation, subletting to a friend, while you're abroad, we are discontinuing your rental agreement. Please vacate within 72 hours. She was in Paris at the time, networking as she called it. I'd already seen the tagged photos. Her in silk, on balconies, with him. The ex. The finance bro with the smug smile and loafers that never touched concrete. They posed like royalty. Toasted glasses to her new freedom. But when she came back, the key didn't work. Her furniture? In storage, prepaid for 1 month. Her mail? Returned to sender. Her wardrobe? Shipped to her sister's place in Jersey. I even left her a note. From your favorite homeboy. Hope the view from the real world is just as pretty. That's when the text started. First confused. Then furious. Then desperate. Marcus, what's going on? Did you cancel the lease? Where's my stuff? I didn't answer a single one. I watched the 3 dots bubble up and vanish again and again. Silence is a powerful language. And right then, it said everything she needed to hear. She had cut me out to impress a circle of people who wouldn't spit on her if she was on fire. Told them I was a footnote. A homeboy. And now, she was back in New York with no apartment, no furniture, and no access to the life she built off of me. Her lies caught up to her. Not with fireworks. Not with drama. But with a quiet click of a key that didn't turn. Funny thing about silence, it doesn't just fill a room. It echoes. Bounces around until it makes people hear things they've been ignoring. And for Isabel? That echo was deafening. 3 days after she landed back in New York, She was standing in the lobby of a building that no longer knew her name. Security wouldn't let her pass the front desk. "Ma'am," the guy said, holding back a smirk, "your name isn't on the lease." She blew up my phone that night. Called 5 times. Left 4 voicemails. The first was confusion. The second was anger. The third was that trembling voice she used when she wanted something. The fourth? Tears. I listened to that one twice. Not because I missed her. Not because I felt bad. Because it reminded me who I used to be. See, when you love someone like I loved her, you don't just give them your money. You give them your time, your thoughts, your loyalty. I built her a life and watched her repaint it in someone else's colors. She called me just a homeboy, but leaned on me like I was scaffolding. I was the one who picked her up when she got denied from her first job post-Paris. The one who stayed up late editing her resume, building her website, booking her interviews. She said she wanted independence. I gave her the tools to build it. And when she finally stood on her own 2 feet, she looked back at me like I was a lawn chair, useful when needed, but embarrassing in front of company. But this part of the story, this was the echo chamber. The place where everything she tried to hide came crashing back down on her. Her friends. Ghosted. Turns out when you lose the penthouse, you lose the party invites too. The ex? Oh, he stuck around for about 6 days. Long enough to figure out she didn't have her place anymore. Long enough to realize she wasn't some jet-setting heiress. Just another pretty face with no address and no plan. He blocked her on Instagram before she could even ask if he had room at his spot in Tribeca. And me? I stayed quiet. No posts. No revenge rants. Just the steady calm of a man who knew the storm had already passed, and I'd walked out dry. But there was one thing left to do. Remember that trip to Paris? The one she planned for professional growth and client connections. She paid for half of it with a travel stipend from her new job. But the other half? She used my travel card. The one I opened under my name for emergencies. The one she conveniently forgot she wasn't authorized to use anymore. So I filed a report. Fraudulent charges. Attached the receipts. Sent proof she wasn't a business partner. Her face lit up red and blurry in the security footage at Charles de Gaulle Airport. Bank froze the card, then reversed the charges. They billed her directly. That $3,200 luxury Paris getaway? Now an invoice with her name on it. I didn't do it to bankrupt her. I did it to close the final tab. To make sure the slate was clean. Her debt? Gone. Her rent? Done. Her lies? Exposed. The only thing left? Me. Free. And here's the kicker. A few weeks later, I walked by that same rooftop she used to party on. Saw her there alone. No crowd. No champagne. Just her, in flats this time, scrolling through a cracked iPhone, like she was waiting for someone who wasn't coming. She saw me. I nodded. She didn't smile. She didn't wave. She just looked down like the echo had finally reached her. Let me tell you something. When someone burns you and thinks you'll just smolder quietly in the ashes, they forget some of us rise from the fire, smarter, sharper, and with receipts. After the Paris fallout and the lease shut off, I figured I'd seen the last of her. Thought she'd vanish back into her clique of borrowed luxury and late-night lies. But nah, Isabel wasn't done yet. Not because she still wanted me, but because she wanted her image back. A week later, a letter showed up. Not a text. Not an email. A letter. Classy, right? Smelled like whatever perfume she used when she was trying to impress. I opened it with 0 expectations. Inside was a neat paragraph dressed in fake warmth. Marcus, I think we owe each other closure. I never meant to hurt you. Things got complicated. I let pressure from my social circle cloud my judgment. I missed the calm you brought to my life. I'd love to talk, maybe dinner. Closure? Missed my calm. The same calm she called boring in a group chat I later found screenshots of? Nah. See, I read through her lines like source code. What she really meant was, my reputation's cracked, my finances are shot, and I need someone with a clean name to help me patch the leaks. So I wrote back. Sure. Dinner sounds good. My treat. Friday, 8 p.m. Send me your dietary restrictions. I'd hate to trigger an allergy by accident. She bit. Showed up in heels she probably borrowed. New dress. Hair done. Smile painted on like nothing had happened. She hugged me like old times. I didn't flinch. Sat down. Let her talk. She said all the right things. Apologies dressed up as insights. I was immature. I didn't realize how much you did for me. I let people get in my head. But I knew better. I let her finish her wine. Let her laugh at my jokes. Let her think, for a second, that maybe this dinner was my white flag. Then I slid a manila envelope across the table. She blinked. "What's this?" she asked, her voice all sugar. "Closure," I said. "Since you brought it up." Inside were 3 things. A printout of every payment I made on her student loans, highlighted. A copy of the letter from the property management company ending her lease. A cease and desist, drafted by my buddy Nate, a contract lawyer, for using my name in any public narrative moving forward, especially in connection to emotional abuse or financial control. Both of which she'd floated on social media the week she got kicked out. Her face dropped. The mask cracked. "What is this?" "Terms and conditions," I said, sipping my drink. "You want closure? That's the cost." She sat there frozen, the same way she used to go quiet when caught in a lie she wasn't prepared to explain. No more speeches. No more. It was a confusing time. Just the quiet realization that she'd underestimated the homeboy with the receipts. She didn't sign the papers that night. But a week later, they showed up in my mailbox, signed, dated. I haven't seen her since. But I did hear about her from mutuals. Turns out her rich friends don't take kindly to drama that spills past the velvet ropes. She lost her job at the boutique firm her ex had pulled strings to get her in, and when he dropped her, the firm followed suit. No references. No safety net. She tried to rebrand herself as a wellness blogger. Last I checked, she had 312 followers. Half of them bots. Me? I moved out of the city, bought a house, paid in cash. No roommates. No ghosts. Just peace and hardwood floors that creak honestly when you walk on them. There's a certain beauty in being forgotten, on your own terms. That's the part people like Isabel never understand. They fear obscurity because their whole identity is a mirror, shiny, but only ever reflecting what other people project onto them. Me? I've lived in silence before. I don't need to be seen to exist. I just need to know. After the cease and desist, she tried to bait me. A couple of Instagram stories with captions like, "Some people can't handle a strong woman," or "Lesson learned. Don't let anyone clip your wings just because they can't fly." Cute, right? What she didn't know was I wasn't watching. I'd already ghosted her from every angle, social scrubbed, numbers blocked, even changed my Venmo to private. She'd burned my name to boost her own, and now she was talking to herself in an empty auditorium. Ghost protocol, complete. But ghosts don't just vanish. They haunt. A month after that envelope dinner, I got a call from my old landlord. Not my new place, the house I bought out in Westchester. No, this was from my last apartment, the one we used to share before she wanted the high-rise experience. "You won't believe this," he said. "Your ex showed up here. Said she was still on the lease." I laughed. "She hasn't been on a lease with me in 2 years," I replied. "Yeah," he said. "But she had this sob story about how you stole her identity, how you used her name to build credit, and now she's homeless." That's when it hit me. She wasn't just spiraling. She was trying to rewrite the narrative. If she couldn't make me the bad guy in her world, she'd try to make me the villain in everyone else's. That's when I activated Phase 2 of Ghost Protocol. Let the truth speak for itself. I mailed the landlord the following. A notarized copy of our lease termination agreement from 24 months prior. A log of rent payments showing every transaction came from my account. A statement from the bank verifying she had never once been a co-signer or contributor. No angry call. No back and forth. Just cold, precise facts. She tried to weaponize her fall. Turn it into a sob story to win sympathy and maybe, get herself a lifeline. But the problem with drowning in lies? Eventually, people stop throwing you ropes. Now, here's the kicker. While she was busy trying to crash land into my old life, I'd already rebuilt a new one. The house I bought? I did it through an LLC, MG Equity Holdings. I've been stacking away side income from freelance IT work and digital consulting for 2 years. She thought I was just tinkering with side projects. What I was actually doing? Building a quiet empire. No social media posts. No celebration dinners. Just deeds. Titles. Clean paper. And one other thing. The last straw for her was when she saw me, by accident, at a charity tech panel in Soho. I wasn't speaking. I wasn't even listed on the flyer. Just part of a low-key mentorship circle for kids trying to break into tech without student debt. Someone snapped a photo. Posted it. There I was, in the background, smiling. No suit. No spotlight. Just me, surrounded by a group of 17-year-olds asking questions about Python and machine learning. And Isabel? She liked the post. From a burner account. Thought I wouldn't notice. That's the thing about ghosts. Sometimes they show up where they don't belong. Sometimes they linger, watching, regretting. But I don't linger. I rebuild. And I remember. Not out of bitterness. Not anymore. Out of principle. Because when someone tries to erase you from their story, the best revenge is living a life they can't touch, even from the shadows. You ever wonder what a person really thinks of you? Don't listen to what they say when you're winning. Watch how they talk about you when they think you've got nothing left to offer. I didn't have to wonder anymore. After I cut Isabel off, after the wine glass apologies and the weak attempts to rewrite history, I assumed I'd heard the last of her. But betrayal, like debt, has a way of compounding, and some people can't let go of what they think they're owed. Turns out, the real final act wasn't in Paris. It was in probate court. A letter showed up, again, not from her. From a lawyer. The kind who signs with too many initials after his name and wears a watch that costs more than a semester at community college. Inside, a petition. Isabel was contesting a will. My grandmother's will. She claimed she had been engaged in a long-term committed domestic partnership with me during the time my grandmother revised her estate plan. Claimed she had contributed to shared assets, emotional support, and domestic responsibilities. Claimed she was entitled to part of the inheritance. She didn't even come to the funeral. That's when I knew this wasn't about love. This wasn't about reconciliation. This was about ownership. She saw me as a ladder. Even after I burned it, she was reaching for the ashes like they owed her a second climb.